Okay, so here it is. The Corian sump and the Corian auto top-off reservoir that I built with these two hands is back under my tank. I originally had taken these out. Somebody wanted to purchase it, and I figured it'd be fun to build another one. Then they backed out of purchasing the sump and auto top-off, so I put it on a shelf downstairs, and it sat there for a while, and I got sick of looking at it down there collecting dust, so rinsed it off, put it back under my system again. It made sense to me to put it back under because to me this thing is absolutely gorgeous. And if anybody has seen this in person, let everybody know what you think of it in the comment section down below. So, yep, it's I custom built this to fit in my stand that I built, and I love it. You know, it's absolutely perfect. I should have never taken it out to begin with. So here it is. But first, I want to show you guys the doors are finally done. They're painted. I got the glass cut. They're on there now. Everything is all done. So now the sump and everything underneath is going to be nice and secure and safe from any flying objects, dust, blueberry muffins, anything like that. So I have made a few changes, not very many, but a few. All the equipment is the same. This time though, there's no macroalgae reactor in there. I actually got a bunch of Chaeto from a buddy of mine about 3 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, and it's doing quite well. I've never really been able to keep Chaeto or any other type of macroalgae, basically because my system is a very low nutrient system tank. I have lots of little fish, I don't overfeed, so there's not a lot of stuff for the Chaeto to eat and consume except for absorbing some light. So I'm giving it another go, and at the moment I'm just using a basic drop light with a 6500K LED light bulb inside. The bulb has worked pretty good for other people in the past, so I'm gonna start out with a nice low bulb, nothing too powerful, too crazy, and go from there. Underneath the Chaeto is all the Marine Pure spheres and the Marine Pure block that I had chopped up. That's underneath the algae at the moment, and I think I like it down there because at nighttime when I take a flashlight, I see all kinds of stuff running around down there, pods and bristle worms and all the bristle starfish and all that. So I like the refugium. It's kind of like a whole nother world down there. So hopefully that will last and continue to grow and be successful. So the only thing I pretty much added besides the refugium light is I put some blue LEDs underneath the cabinet, just so that at nighttime when the doors are shut, it's got a nice little glow, you know, to match the inside of the auto top-off reservoir. Do I need it? No. It's pretty cool. Yes. So that's why I put it on there. It looks good because all the PVC is nice and clean and white. And I took all the lettering off. You know, the protein skimmer is nice and white. So everything matches pretty good. If I do need to work on the system, I did install a double bar LED system, so it gives me plenty of light. So whenever I need to do any kind of work, I'm fully lit under there and I'm good to go. So let's just take a look at the sump from the left to right. I'll do a quick rundown of the equipment in case you're new to the channel, and how I'm just running everything. So on the left side is my protein skimmer, my overflow, and my heater. I'm using the Bubble Magus Curve 5, still up and running from day one with this system. Still using sump socks, change them out about every 2 to 3 days. And I'm also using the Aqueon Precision Pro 250 watt heater. It's rated for up to 90 gallons. My system is a total of 65 gallons. Believe it or not, a 75 gallon tank and a 35 gallon sump only holds 65 gallons to the T. The next section right after the skimmer section is, if you guys see this here, and I have another one to the right of it, this is actually a baffle blocker. It blocks the light from the refugium from entering the chamber where the skimmer is, and on the right side it blocks it from entering the JBJ auto top off and the return pump and all that other stuff. And I made it so that it just slides. Like if I want to get in there and work on anything, I can. So you can see here is my bubble trap. It's just a 1/2 inch gap in between each baffle wall. Water comes out from here, goes down, comes back up, goes into the refugium. Slide that back over, and we're good to go. Now we're at the refugium section. Like I said before, it's got some Chaeto, a whole lot of life in there, sponges, starfish, bristleworms, all kinds of different pods. And like I said, it's just a basic drop light with a Cree 6500K light and some marine pure spheres, and that's pretty much it. Then the final section. This is another change that I've made. So along with this baffle blocker, I have put in, you can see it's that black plastic mesh. I'm letting it just hang, and it actually blocks the Chaeto from going in and overflowing into the section where I have the pinky pads. This is just your basic filter media, you know, that catches any kind of debris that will make it all the way through, and it kind of polishes the water before it enters the return pump section and the reactor section. So the final stage of the sump is the return pump, which is the JCOD DCS 7000 return pump. And I'm using, you can see right here, the little red thing, that is my carbon reactor pump. I like to run it separate so that if I want to shut it off or do any kind of work, I don't have to shut valves and readjust anything. I can just simply turn that off, do whatever I have to do, and that's that. Also, you can see this line here. This is the return line from my carbon reactor. And you can see right down here, I'll actually show you a better angle of it. So that 90 right there, that is the return end from the carbon reactor. I have it going directly into the inlet section of my return pump because I don't want to recirculate the freshly carbonated and cleaned water and have it go back around and around and around. Once the return pump for the reactor sends the water up, it comes up. You can see that it goes over top into my little DIY reactor, back down, and right back into the display tank. So I'm not going to be recirculating any type of water from a manifold. So you can see in the very back right corner, that's the JBJ auto top off. I'm using the dual float situation there, and what that is when the front float drops and the water level drops in the tank, it turns on the auto top off. Now in case for some reason there's a malfunction, that second float that kind of looks like it's upside down, which is right there, if the auto top off doesn't shut off and that float rises, then it's a secondary, pretty much an emergency backup that will shut the pump off. That's why I like the JBJ auto top off, because manual floats, in my eyes, don't fail. As long as you clean them maybe once a year, can't go wrong with that. I have not had an issue. I've been using JBJ auto top off for just about 2.5 years, and it's actually the same one that I started with, and I have not had an issue with it. And finally, the auto top off system. I have a little LED that I actually siliconed to the bottom of the lid. Like I said before, it holds just about 7 gallons. I usually put 6.5 gallons in it. And this in my tank usually lasts about 7 to 8 days, no problem. In the summertime, about 7 days. But since I have the sump section underneath my tank, it's totally closed off, everything has a lid, and I have a canopy, I don't really get a lot of evaporation in the system, so a 7-gallon auto top off reservoir is a minimum of a week in my system. Usually 7 to 10 days, but about every 8 days I fill it before it gets too low. So that's it. That's my sump and auto top off equipment refugium section. That's everything in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you've seen this system in person, if you've been to my house, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Shutting my doors. And that's it. Gonna just kick back and relax. Thanks for watching.